Morning.
Anyone out there? Yeah, anyone out
Yeah,
there up
quick.
early?
Yeah,
Yeah,
clean the screen.
yeah.
Let's see. We've got Nicole and Eric in the house, West Coast. So if you are here to join us with the Future Me cast, take a look at the CC page down below. We'd love to know who you are and where you're coming from. And then we've got some great, I feel like I should be doing some music or something in the background. We should be pumping out some hip hop or something.
I was listening to some superhero theme music earlier, the Avengers Assemble song. I don't know how you can not get excited or hyped up when you listen to the Avengers theme song. You're ready to go conquer the world when you listen to that. I have a whole playlist on Spotify that I play in my classroom.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I create different playlists for teachers. So the same thing, I'll do monthly playlists. Unless teachers say, well, I need something for meditation or mindfulness or whatever. So then I'll create some. I've got some really interesting ones because teachers ask some really interesting, well, could you get it so that the heartbeat and the drumming is at this beats per minute? So yeah, it's fun.
All right, we're starting to get some responses.
Yay, Mrs. Tadios!
Welcome.
Thunder Bay, beautiful. Love having someone from the East Coast. Welcome, welcome.
Which I have to say, and those of you who are just joining us, welcome. I am in San Diego, California, so I am south. But when I first heard of Thunder Bay, I was like, I want to be from a place called Thunder Bay. That just sounds so cool.
It does sound so cool. It is a really neat place. Lucas, welcome. We're doing awesome. How are you? Tell us where you're chiming in from, Lucas. What part of the country? We'd love to hear where all our teachers and our students are from. We're going to have some fun. We're going to break down. We're going to have some questions. I think we're going to start pretty quick with some would you rather questions.
Yeah. Welcome, Lucas.
Well, we'll put the first one in. Oh, a Thunder Bay Club, Xander. Wow.
Xander, welcome. Good morning. So this would you rather question. This is one. Well, this is going to come up again because it's going to be in my future me. I talk about it. But would you rather live in an amusement park or a zoo? So if that was going to be your home, where would you rather live? Which one would you rather choose? Drop that in the chat. Let us know. Amusement park, you have unlimited rides. Assume unlimited rides, unlimited food. You don't have to pay all that extra money. It's your place. Or a zoo. Cole, what would you choose?
You know what? Because I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, with one of the largest shopping malls there are, the West Edmonton Mall, they do have an amusement park, and I would love to live there and just go on as many rides as I want. They even have part of the amusement park has a water slide and bungee cords, and I could spend the whole time there, just going crazy. How about you, Eric?
I'm going to choose zoo, but that's because I'm a biology teacher, and the zoo is like going to Disneyland for me. What's going on, Nicholas, out in Toronto? Welcome. Glad you could join us, Miss Tris. Good morning,
Avery
Bree.
Zoo. I love this. Miss Tris, you are a virtual class. Love seeing this. Bree would also like to live in an amusement park. I hear you. Are there any?
What do we have? What else do we have? What do we have next?
Spencer, also amusement park. You guys can also say, oh, we even have Donald Trump. How lucky can we get? He would want to be in the amusement park. Well, Donald J.
Well, he does need a new job now because, so this is a good place for him to be.
I love it.
It's never too late to try a new career.
Tori, it would be more fun. Yeah, you're welcome, Tori. We love having it.
Oh, and Obama's here too. Okay, so we apparently a lot of the U.S. presidents are all looking for former U.S. presidents are looking for new jobs. We are. Thanks, everyone.
That's fabulous. Should we go on to the next one? I think
so. Yeah, let's go to the next one.
I think we've done pretty good here. Oh, especially with the Mars rover.
Yeah.
What are you guys going to do?
So the next one is, would you rather explore space or the ocean?
And again,
or the oceans.
Keep taking a look at that CC page. Just keep going back and you can keep heading it in. Xander, space, Laura, oceans. Oh, Tori, oceans. Oh, we got lots of people, oceans. Did you guys know, team members today with us, that you can go to Google Earth and you can actually explore the oceans in Google Earth. So if you've never done that before and you said oceans, put that in your thinking cap or write it down somewhere. Really, really cool.
I think.
Oh, we even have Putin. Wow. And he wants to go to space. He wants to be a cosmonaut.
I'm glad we're reaching a global audience right now.
We are. That's fabulous. Great. Yeah, Lucas, I agree. It would be really cool to see the world from above. I've always wanted to go to the International Space Station. I have virtually with my Google goggles. But yeah, just to see everything from above live would be really, really neat.
Oceans all the way. I'd explore space because I'm scared of the ocean. I love it, Alyssa. Alyssa's like, I'm going to go to space. Ocean? I don't know, but I'm going to go to space.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. All right, you guys are doing great. Let's try. Should we do one more?
Let's do one more.
Eric?
Let's do one more.
One more.
All right, so this one's a tough one. Would you rather be able to talk to animals or speak every human language in the world? So I know with my students, I teach 7th graders. I teach 7th grade science. I know most of my students are going to want to talk to animals. Many of my students like animals more than people, and I get it. I get it. Would you rather be able to talk to animals? Yeah, there we go. I can start already see it in the chat. If I had to guess what we'd see a lot of, every human language are talking to animals. I wonder what some animals would say. What would your pets say?
They'd probably say some interesting things because I can speak to pandas. Faison, I love it. That would be interesting. What would a panda say if you could talk to it?
That's a good question.
That's
We had some at our zoo down here in San Diego for a while.
Yeah, in some of our major zoos across Canada, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Toronto, they'll rotate because they'll have special projects, and you'll get to have an opportunity to see some of these exotic animals. Bree would speak every language in the world. Man, Bree, you could go anywhere you want and you could understand and have a good time. I think that's neat.
I love it. Well, it's top of the hour.
Yeah.
Should we get started?
Let's get started. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Eric. I am a teacher down here in San Diego, and we are going to get started on our Future Me project. Now, I did put a warning on this, and the warning is that it might require you to dream big, perhaps bigger than anyone's ever dreamt before or you've ever dreamt in your life. And the reason why is because you're going to think about the future you. Now, if I go back and show you just on that would you rather slide.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can. Oh, we're still sharing your screen. Let me go ahead and.
Do you want to do this one?
Go ahead and switch to my, or you can show this one. Or you could switch to my screen. I have it on there too.
Oh, okay. Let's do that. And then you can run the show. Let me stop my screen. Okay. Do you have yours in there?
It's in there.
Eric, there we go. Let's add that in there. All right, so, here we go.
So that little person up there in yellow that you can see, that is past me. That is 7th grade me, 12-year-old me, and that is outside my classroom door. And so when I was this age, trying to think about my future, I had all kinds of ideas. And I'm going to tell you about the first thing that I wanted to do and a little bit when we get into it. So you want to be thinking about what you want to do when you get older. And if you don't know for sure, that's totally fine. A lot of adults don't know for sure. But this activity, you're still going to be able to create some really cool tools. And you're going to be able to learn some neat skills that you can use later in life when you do decide what you want to do. So to get started, we're going to create a Google site. Now, for many of you, this might be the first Google site that you ever made, or your first website. And I'm honored to be the person to help you create your first website. And if you can see in the link right here, the link to everything that we're covering today is on this little bit.ly link. So you can see it, and then you can see it down below me, bit.ly/futuremeca. So if you type that in, it'll take you to this website. And if you need to slow us down, you can hit pause, or you can go back and you can find a lot of information on here that we're going to talk about.
And also don't forget, if you guys have questions for us, that CC page, keep that open, and we're watching the stream, and we'll definitely make sure that both of us recognize what you guys are talking about.
So the first thing that we're going to do, let's make our site. So we're going to go to our Google Drive. And so to go to your Drive, one of the easiest ways to do it is just go to the regular Google homepage. Right up here in the upper right-hand corner, you have the 9 dots. They kind of look like meatballs, or maybe like almost like a die, but with 9 dots. And then click on Google Drive. And it's going to be like opening a Google Doc. You're going to go to New, and then you're going to go down to More. And then for more, you're going to click on Google Sites. And you may not have seen all the extra apps that are on there. So we're going to open a Google site. And congratulations, you've just made your Google site. And so a Google site is a website that's saved to your Google Drive. So this is your website now. So now we need to customize it. So we're going to do some basic things on our Google site. So once you've opened it, go ahead and title it. And I'm going to title this Eric Cross's Digital Portfolio. And this is going to be my website that I create. And we're going to put information about me so that one day if I'm applying for scholarships, or if there's a school I really want to go to, or an internship or a job that you want, people are going to look you up. They're going to Google you. It's kind of the thing that we do now. And if you can send them to a website that has all the things that you've done, your accomplishments that you've acquired or that you've achieved throughout the years, that's going to look really, really good and make you stand out. So we're going to create a website, and then we're going to make a virtual me, or a really beautiful version of a resume for you, but for the future you, the you that you're becoming. Now, if you're in high school or you're old enough to have a job, I'd like you to do this activity for the current you, because you could actually use this to really get yourself a job. It's a really valuable skill. So now we've named our site, and we always want to name our file. So we'll call this Eric Cross's Digital Portfolio up here at the top. I don't know about you, Nicole, but I may have quite a few files called Untitled in my Google Drive.
Yeah, it's nice. Google Drive is nice to be able to hold all those files, but it is very important to name them. Naming conventions, well, that's adult speak for trying to keep everything organized.
It is. Now, on the upper right-hand side, we have 3 tabs. So you can see right here, it says Insert, Pages, and Themes. And I have videos included in here on what they all do, but I don't want you to focus on all of those things. We're just going to go to the one called Pages. So after you've named your website, click on the middle tab that says Pages, and we're going to make a page. Now, this is just going to be a different link that's on your website so people can click around. So to make a page, in the very bottom, you're going to click on the plus button. When you click on the plus button, it's going to ask you to name this page. So we're going to call this our resume, or as my students call it, the resume. Click done, which I understand. I mean, it looks like it says resume.
And then if you really want to sound smart and use Latin, you can say curriculum vitae, a
yes.
CV. Yeah. So if you want to really impress people, call it a CV.
Yeah. So we'll do I'll do a little hyphen here. We'll do CV in case. Now, remember, this website is about you. So you might want to add some other pages that kind of represent who you are and the things you're most proud of. So some other pages that you can add by going down and clicking the plus button again, you may want to add a page that's called maybe your awards. Maybe you've earned some awards over the years. And so you can put those on there. You can add another page. Maybe you play sports. Maybe you're on some sports teams, and that shows that you understand teamwork. You know how to take instruction. You know about commitment and perseverance. And maybe you've been playing sports for a long time, and you might have some photos or achievements that you've done. You can put your sports on there. If you're a part of clubs in school, you can put that in there too.
If you do community work, volunteer work, I think, right? I think that's important to look, that people say, wow, this person is really thinking about helping locally. Xander, you could definitely do bowling. I've got a great quick story. My daughter is a 5-pin bowler. That's huge in Canada. And she was part of the national team. And, you know, who would think? She is also an athletic person, plays other sports. But Xander, you can do any sport you want.
You do. Remember, it's about you. And so this is going to be the web version of who you are and the things that you want people to see when they're looking you up. And so if you have bowling, if that's about you, even if you run a Discord server, if you're a moderator, you run a community chat. That's a skill, being able to manage that. So you might be into gaming, you might be into horseback riding, you might be into hockey, whatever it is, that's going to be about you. And that's a really valuable thing to share for other people. Now, remember, you can always go back and work on your website anytime you want. We're just going to focus on one page for now. So I'm going to go back to the one that we called resume. And that's where we're going to put our digital resume for now. So once you've completed that page, we're going to move on to the next section. So we've made our website. We have our resume. Now what we're going to do is actually create the actual resume. So I'm going to go back to our website, and we're going to use one called Canva. Now, if you're 13 or older, you can use Canva. If you're under 13, you want to ask parent permission, or you want to ask your teacher's permission. And I would recommend that you use the Google Doc template that I have here on the website. So again, there's kind of a division between permissions. If you're 13 and over, you can go to Canva, create your own account. If you're 13 or under, you want to ask for permission from your teacher, and instead use the Google Doc template if your teacher's not around. Maybe you're working at home. I'm going to show you what to do on Canva first, and then I'll show you what to do in the Google Doc template. And then when you get older, you can make your own Canva account, and then you can update it later on.
And you're going to love Canva. So once Eric goes into that, both teachers and students, it's just going to blow your mind, the templates.
Nice.
And Ethan says he knows someone in the Olympics. That's fabulous. It's always nice to know people who have achieved something in a sport or something they're passionate about. So fabulous. Sammy, we need a better question. Where is that? Do you mean the Google Doc template? Because if so, here's that site, or actually it's the bit.ly, right? That they can
go to. The
bit.ly
link. If you're trying to find where this information is, bit.ly/futureme. So you're going to go to that website, and that's going to have everything here. So let's go ahead and open Canva. Now what Canva is, it's a website that makes design really easy. So it's one thing to put your information out there, but to make it look good is a different kind of challenge. And I know some of you out there are kind of artsy, maybe design. You really like the aesthetic, the way things look. Canva, you're going to love Canva if you haven't used it before, because it is all about making information look good. So to start on Canva, what you're going to do is you're going to click sign up. It's the purple button in the upper right-hand corner. And then what I recommend doing is sign up for Google. With Google, if you have a Google account, just click sign up with Google, and then choose the Google account that you're going to be using. Now, one of the great things, teachers, if you're an educator and you have a school account, teachers, we get unlimited free premium access using a teacher account. And there's a link on the website that I'll show you a little bit later on to sign up for that. And you can even import your Google Classroom into Canva and send assignments out that way too. So it's a Google partner, and they integrate really well together. All right, we're in Canva right now. And you see I have all these different types of designs. I have presentations, reports, posters. We're going to look at the one called resume. So once you're here, I want you to click on the search bar and just type in resume, or you can click on the one on the bottom. And then you're going to see all of these different templates. Now, one of the important things to remember with a template is it's already pre-laid out for you. So whenever you're using a template, you just want to edit it. You don't want to go in and delete everything. And sometimes this happens with my own students. So we'll open a template. Let's do this one right here. And my students will go, this looks really good. Okay, I want to change it. And they'll go in and they'll change it, but they'll delete everything that's on there. And so then the template isn't really useful because then it just turns into a blank page and you don't know where everything was. So the best thing to do that I recommend is leave it as it is. But when you want to update it, just click on the words and then just change the words so it matches what you want it to say. That's the trick with templates. So just edit the template so it matches what you want. So when you find your template, find one that you like. Now, if you like it and it appeals to you, you're going to be more into it. And so find one of the templates on here that you like. These are all different types of resumes. You can choose one that has a photo, or you can choose one that doesn't. I picked one with a photo just because I like the way that looked. But there's all kinds of different templates that are on here. You have Amelia Stanford right here. This is just plain text, but it has that bright kind of sun in the background. I like this one here. This one's really nice. Adeline Palmerston. And if you're like me, sometimes you kind of get overwhelmed with all the choices. Like, which one do I choose? And so it doesn't matter. You can always change it later. For now, just pick one.
Let us know also which one you picked. So thanks, Ethan. We love supporting both teachers and students with these videos. So we enjoy learning and teaching and seeing you guys really develop your skills. So if you find one, just like what Eric is showing, let us know which template you decided to choose to play with today.
Yeah, tell us in the chat. I'm going to choose Chad Gibbons. This is the one I usually use just to practice when I'm demonstrating with my students here in San Diego. And what I'd like you to do in the chat, maybe tell me what job. Now, we're making our resume for our future self. So you might have to kind of do some math. So if I'm dreaming now, when I was little, what I wanted to be, if I go back far enough, I wanted to be a fire truck. But there's no schools to become a fire truck.
Sorry.
So it's okay. I still in my heart want to be a fire truck. It's just there's no good universities or colleges that teach that yet. So I had to pick another career. What would be a good career for me to choose as I'm making this resume? Remember, this is your future you. So you're going to create it for what you dream of. Like if guaranteed you wouldn't fail, what would you do? Would you be an actor? Would you be an athlete? Would you be a doctor? Would you be a welder? Would you work in oil fields? Would you do construction? Would you be a physical therapist, a lawyer? There's all kinds of different professions. But I want to go to the chat and have them tell me a profession.
I think, yeah. So if you haven't chosen a template yet, choose a template. Let us know about that. And then also tell us what profession in, after you're done either K-12 schooling or even post-secondary, you've gone to college, university, or even technical school, or maybe this job doesn't exist. There's a whole bunch of really interesting things happening in the artificial intelligence world. Maybe you're part of some of that. So, Xander.
I'm digging
video
Xander's.
Game Tester. Yeah, I'd be Xander there with you.
Thank you, Xander. I love this. So Xander gave me Video Game Tester.
Holographic Service Technician. You could teleport. Is that it, Zachary? Could you teleport to different places? Because I would so do that.
So we're going to, okay, there's some great ideas. So we have Video Game Tester, Holographic Service Technician, Advertisement, Designer or MBA player. How did you know I was tall? I mean, I'm tall. 6'4". I could, be a point guard. Actor. Lucas, do that. So that's what you're changing your title to. So you'll notice up here, I changed my title to Video Game Tester. So wherever the profession is on your template, change it. Remember, this is your future you. So I want you to think about this. If like a genie appeared and said, I don't have my Will Smith Aladdin GIF image showing up. I was working on it, and says, if you create this resume, I guarantee you it will happen when you are 22 or 23 or 24 years old, but you have to make it exactly how it's supposed to be. Now, that's how I want you to dream. Now, if you don't know, if it's too much pressure to just try to figure out what you want to do, just pick an occupation. Just pick an occupation, maybe something someone you respect or admire does, or maybe something that you're just interested in. So it's not like you're writing it in stone. You could always change it later. I know for sometimes it feels like a lot of pressure to figure out what you're going to write for the future. So if that's you, then just pick one, because you'll still be able to practice the skill of making your digital resume.
Photographer, Ethan.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, and that can be anything. You can be like really specific type of photographer. You could travel around the world. Fun stuff.
Love it. Now, next you have get in contact. Now, if you are old enough to apply for a real job where you're going to get paid, and you're going to use this, then you can put your real information. If you're not old enough yet to apply for a real job, what I'd like you to do is just put maybe some kind of like some fake information in there. Don't put your personal information in there. You can put things, you can kind of make up a phone number, have fun with it. You can make up an address, and then for your website and email, you can maybe use your school one. But just kind of, you can change this later. I want this to be for folks. I'd recommend, if you're going to be sharing this publicly and you're not yet ready to work at your first job, just kind of use some fictional information for now, because you'll still get the practice, and you can always go back and edit it later.
Next. All right. Do we have anyone else? Any other jobs? Any other thoughts? Just keep putting it in while Eric shows you the different aspects of this resume.
Next, we have personal profile. That's going to be kind of just about you. So you might want to write a sentence or two, so that when your employer is hiring you, you're looking for that job. If you had to kind of describe yourself in a sentence or two, what would you write? How would you describe yourself? And that might, take some thinking to do. If I was going to say a sentence or two about me. So here in the template, it said a software engineer with hands-on testing. That's great if you're a software engineer, but I'm going to be a video game tester. So I'm going to change this to video game tester with years of experience. And thankfully, I know a bit about video games, playing PlayStation. If I leave out a platform, go ahead and let me know in the chat. PlayStation, Nintendo. What else do we have? PC gaming.
Yeah.
And
Xander says you're using mine. Well, Xander, you can, hey, just copy that if you like what Eric's writing about you. Oh, Zach. Zachary said holographic service technician would be the person who repairs holographic systems. As holograms, light projections are becoming more and more common in the future. I love that. Thank you, not Zach. Oh, Xbox, Sonic, Eric. Some people are.
We'll put Sega in there. I love that my gamers are all coming out and making sure, keeping me accountable. Shout out to all my gamers out there.
Kylie, orthopedic surgeon. Olivia, astronaut or aerospace engineer. Love hearing this. Thank you, team members, for sharing.
Beautiful. Now, for work experience, these are going to be the places that I've worked at. Now, remember, you're thinking about it in the future as if you've already done it. So for your work experience, where would be a great place to work, especially as a game tester? Well, one of the really popular video game companies is Rockstar Games.
And here in Edmonton, Alberta, we have one of the world's largest game places, BioSoft.
BioSoft. Okay, so I'm going to put BioSoft in here. Now, I don't know.
There you go. So you've got, and you can go anywhere in the world. They have different satellite places.
So those are going to be the places I used to work at. Remember, this is my future me. So I'm putting the jobs I used to have. So you're kind of thinking like, what would be the best place to work at? Well, think of, if you want to be an orthopedic surgeon, what's a nearby hospital? That they probably have orthopedic surgeons there. So maybe put that as a place you might have worked, or maybe the hospital that you were born at, if you were born at a hospital. If you're going to be a photographer, maybe you worked for a camera company, or maybe you owned your own business. Maybe you're an entrepreneur Or like some of the people in the chat, maybe the job doesn't exist yet. Maybe you work on you work on the Mars colony. That would be a job that doesn't exist yet, but it someday might exist in the future.
So Bagel Boy says, watch your spelling. PlayStation needs to be spelled correctly. While Jacob Zach and Mies Rice said, what about Fortnite?
Love it. So if I was so Epic Games, that would be another company. So you can do Epic as well. I'll do Rockstar and BioSoft. And now what I want to do is write down maybe what I did there. So actually for this one, what I want to do is change this to video game tester. And because I think I read the prompt wrong. And then down here I'll put Rockstar Games. And then here we'll do, maybe I was a game designer.
Yeah.
Video game designer. I wasn't just playing games. I was also creating games and designing games. And I was a video game designer for BioSoft. Is it BioSoft? Is that
yeah,
what it was?
BioSoft.
Yeah, BIOSOFT.
Yep.
Now here's the tricky part. You kind of have to do some math, because depending on your age, you're going to want to change these years. You don't want it to be 2015 to present. So if I was 12 years old, I'd have to think about, okay, when would I graduate? When would I graduate high school? So what year would a 12-year-old graduate high school? If you got to think that far ahead, be maybe 6 years from now.
What do you guys think? Put it in the response.
Yeah, what year would I graduate? Finish high school? Microsoft is Pog, or Minecraft is Pog. You all would get along really well with my own students.
So if you were 12 right now,
2027.
What do you think? What year would you graduate?
I'm thinking maybe 2027. Now, if you're older, you might graduate this year. If you're already in high school and you're ready to graduate, the math is a lot easier. So I'm going to think, okay, let's say I was in middle school. I graduated sometime 2027. And then I went to college or university, depending on which you choose. And maybe I did that for a few years, 26, 27. So, okay, so graduated high school at 2027. And then maybe I went to college for 3 or 4 years. So maybe 2030, 2031 is when I started working. So for video game designer, I'm going to put I was 2030. Actually, I'm going to say I did it while I was in college. Right when I was in college, I was working here. And then I worked here for 2 years, till 2029. And then I got my new job as a video game tester in 2029 to present. And maybe the present is 2035. Remember, we're thinking in the future, which is kind of weird to do. You're like thinking so far ahead. Now, those of you who already are going to be using this for your real resume, put down real things that you've done and achievements. And maybe you don't have work experience, but put experience down that may be things that employers might want to look for. So what are some skills that you've acquired over time in school that show that you have maybe teamwork or leadership, or can follow instruction, or have are maybe great customer service, maybe part of clubs? One of the hardest things when getting your first job is when they ask you for work experience, kind of writing down maybe you don't have any. So being creative about what you can include in there that may not actually tie into something you did when you got paid, but also shows your skills that you have that would help you in the job that you're applying for. Let's kind of think about it that way.
All right, just posting the link again. This takes you to where Eric is, the website, and then he currently is in Canva right now using that template.
Awesome. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move down. Now here, depending on what your job is, you'd want to put maybe 2 or 3 points of things that you did while you were working there. Now, if you want a hint and you're like, you know what you want to do, but you're like, what would that be? What you can do is you can go into Google and you can type in, and let me look in the chat and see, aerospace engineer. I'm going to type in aerospace engineer resume. And you're probably going to be able to pull up a resume of somebody who was an actual aerospace engineer. And then you can read about what they include in your resume. And since we're writing this fictionally for our future, it's totally okay to look at this and take some of those things that they said. And there's things on there that you're like, I know what some of those words mean, but not all of them. Ask your teacher or one of your parents or whoever's taking care of you, maybe an adult, a trusted adult. Hey, what does this mean? This is what I want to do someday in the future. I'm writing my resume, but I don't exactly know what all these terms mean. So try to find out what they mean by asking an adult, someone who's working, or an older sibling or somebody. So you can totally Google resumes online for the profession you want, since we're kind of writing this for our future.
And for those of you who are Canadian students, some of your school divisions or schools will have myblueprint.ca, and you can do the exact same thing as what Eric just did. So make sure you ask your teachers. That has all those where I can do a search for aerospace engineer, or Sylvia wants to be a space cowboy. I don't know if it would be there, but hey.
I love the fact that Sylvia is running with do jobs that don't exist yet. So
exactly.
A space cowboy, the first thing that popped into my head is the Guardians of the Galaxy crew. I mean, they remind me of space cowboys. And so space cowboys is pretty awesome. Now, for education history, this is going to be the school that you went to, the college or the university that you went to. Where did you go after high school to learn the skills that you have? Now, there's a variety of websites that you can do and that you can look up. One of the things that I look up is maybe best colleges or best universities, and then type in the profession that you want. And maybe there's a nearby university to you. You can use that one. The closest university to me here where I live is at San Diego State University, which is just down the street from me, or the University of San Diego. So if you don't live necessarily close to one, again, you can go into the Google search and type in best college in Canada. Now, for me, I'd have to write in Canada because it's going to come up with US search results. Let's take a look at some of the responses.
Lego. Ethan, I'll talk to Ethan about Lego while you look through that. Ethan, by the way, I have several cousins who work in Denmark. The original Lego company is there. There's a big, huge Legoland right by where Eric is.
There is. Yeah, there's Legoland here.
So you can work at an amusement park that's filled with Lego, but you can also design Lego. Several European companies do work with Lego to do that, Ethan. So that's pretty interesting. And then there's people professionally who are artists that take Legos and create art for clients out of Lego.
Now, when I typed in best college in Canada or best university, and I know university and college in Canada is different than here in the US. In the US, we use them kind of the same, whereas I know there's a distinction in Canada. So if I did, let's see if it makes a difference, university in Canada for orthopedic surgeon, and there's a US News, best global universities for clinical medicine in Canada. So you have
University of Toronto, McMaster, yeah. So and UBC. So we've got the eastern part of Canada and we have western part of Canada there. So you have your choice.
Bob asked if he's allowed to be MJ when he grows up. There's a couple different MJs, Bob, but my encouragement to you is don't let your dreams be dreams. Be better than MJ. Be the Bob MJ, the better version. Be the next iteration. And Tom point out something really important is not to forget about apprenticeships and trades. And so if you're going to go into a trade, you're going to learn a skill where you're working with your hands. And it can be something where you're working with actual tools and you're building homes, or you're working on cars, or you're learning a trade. You're learning how to repair software, or even being a holographic engineer. That is a trade. And so whether it's digital or whether it's something where you're using hand tools or anything in between, those are all trades. And there are specialty schools that you can go to learn those specific skills. And they're incredibly valuable. And what a lot of people don't know is they also pay really well, many of those jobs.
They do pay really well. And that's important also, students, for you to know that in high school, you can be an intern and an apprenticeship. There's work experience opportunities. So don't think you're ever too young to start on that path that you want to be. I don't know if Eric wants to say how old he is. Tweedle Leedle.
How old am I? My name is Tweedle Leedle. Old enough to have been written quite a few resumes and to also have sat on a number of interview panels to hire people.
There you go. An adult baby. Okay, little baby. All right. Well, he's got a fervor, we say, for life. He's got joy. So you definitely need to be passionate about something that you want to be part of, because that job market is ever changing and you want to do stuff that you're really excited or interested in. And certainly, Jackson, you can be anything, and you can change partway through. You don't have to just stay the course.
Absolutely. I think it's something really important. I've been teaching for about 7 years, but before I taught, I had started 2 financial companies. And that's because, for my own personal story, my family, we didn't grow up with a lot of money. And when I finished high school, I was fortunate enough to have a mentor who took me under his wing, and he was starting a financial business. It wasn't something that I dreamed about doing as a kid, but it was something that really paid my bills and let me do some of the things I wanted to do. And at that time in my life, that was a great opportunity. And I did that for long enough before I moved on to something that I was super passionate about, which is teaching. And that's how my kind of pathway went. And everyone's road is different. Everyone's story is different.
For sure.
So what works for one group of students or your friends or somebody who sits next to you may be different for you. And so you might find yourself kind of changing over time, and that's totally fine. I think the days of doing one thing for like 60 years, that's the way maybe it used to be. But nowadays, I think everyone has to kind of blaze their own path. And so don't feel like you have to compare yourself to other people as you're kind of figuring out your future.
And start your own thing. That's how some of the companies you see that are around now that are very successful, someone found a need to fulfill that they couldn't see and made a success out of it.
Absolutely. Now, this is a good looking brother. This isn't me. Obviously, I don't know if you can tell. There is some lighting, differences. But I want this to be me on mine. Now, we can go through and continue working on a resume, but I do want to show you how to update the image if you put an image on yours. So right now, go ahead and take a look at the left-hand side, and you're going to see a number of different menu options right here on the left. So you're going to see templates, uploads, photos, elements. We're going to choose the one that says uploads. It has a little cloud with an arrow pointing up on the inside. So I'm going to click on that. Laserbeam says he wants to be a professional yeeter. I think that's a shot put in the Olympics. I'm pretty sure that's what a professional yeeter does.
You know what? That's a great question. Is that what it is? There's a couple of you who want to be yeeters. I think that's pretty neat.
This is awesome. I feel like all of my students are on the other end of this chat, so please keep dropping in comments. You all are great. And someone just dropped in a YouTube link. I'm not clicking on that because I know you're probably going to try and rickroll me. But nice try. Good look at that. All right. We're going to click on uploads on the left-hand side, and then you can go to upload media. And that just means you're going to find a file that's on your computer. Now, if you don't have a picture of yourself on your computer, that's okay. You can find it and you can put one on there later. But this lets you put images of you onto your resume. So you can click upload media. You can find something on Facebook, Instagram, Dropbox, Google Drive, or your device. So if you click your device, then it'll open files that are on your computer. I've already put a photo of myself in Canva. So what I'm going to do is click on it and drag it on top of this one. And there you go. Canva magic. It just changes the photo. And that's my pre-COVID look. That's before the beard. Yeah. This is the distance learning beard, everybody. Usually I'm shaved. LaMelo wants to be a basketball player.
A professional eater. You know what? They used to have pre-COVID, eating competitions, and people would have sponsors. So maybe they'll get back to that.
Professional eating sounds like a good job. I mean, I'd also have to be a professional gym person because I'd have to be working.
Yeah, you'd have to balance that out, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Okay. We're working on a resume. What I would like you to do right now is pause on your resume. You can get back to it. You can go back to it whenever you want. And the great thing about it is it automatically saves. It's like a Google Doc, except it's in Canva. So it'll automatically save. Now what I want you to do is do something that's really cool. This is going to show some of your techie skills. And so if you're working on your project, tune back into me and let me show you what I want you to do. We're going to put this onto our website, and we're going to do it so that we only need to do it one time, so that our website talks to our resume. And whenever we change our resume, it automatically changes our website. So this is a really valuable tool. And those of you who decide to build more websites later, this is a really great skill to learn how to learn. So here's what I'm going to do. Right up here where it says share, up here in the top right-hand corner of your resume, there's a share button. I'm going to click on that. And then you can share it with somebody else. We're not going to click on the share button. All right. Next to it, the 3 dots. That's what I want to do. The 3 dots next to share. So if you find share, go over 2 blocks, download, and then the 3 dots. There's all these different share options on there. I want to click where it says see all. So you're going to see Microsoft Teams, Remind, Twitter, Embed, all these different things. We want see all under share. Now, when you click see all, you want this one that says embed, E-M-B-E-D. It has kind of like the little alligator teeth with a slash in between them. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for where it says embed, not in bed, which is where we were like before we started this, because for me, it's 7:39 in the morning.
It's a little early.
Embed with an E. All right. So we're looking for embed. Click on that and then click embed. Now it's going to give you an option for 2 different types of code, HTML and Smart Embed. Copy the one that says HTML. Now, even if you're not done, it's fine. I actually don't want you to be finished when you do this. I actually want you to do it midway through so you can see something really cool and how it works. So now that I've copied my embed code, I need to go back to my website, my Google site that I was working on. So I'm going to go back to the site, and I'm going to put that code in my website in a very special way. So watch how I do that. I'm going to go back to where it says my Future Me website or my digital portfolio. Here we are. I've clicked on the page that's called my resume CV. Now, whatever page you click on is where it's going to go. So you don't want to put it under clubs because it's not one of your clubs. You want to put it under your resume CV one. Now what I'm going to do, I have pages selected. I want to go to insert. So right next to pages, there's a tab that says insert. Those are all the different ways to put things on your website. And I want to click on the yellow alligator teeth that say embed. So click on embed, and you have 2 choices. You have URL, which is kind of like a website link, or embed code. Now, I copied the embed code. So I want to choose embed code and then paste it here. And then watch what happens. I'm going to hit next and insert. And there's my resume. So you want to stretch it out, kind of make it so it fills up the screen. And then if you want to see what it's going to look like to other people, there's a little button right up here. It looks like a laptop with a phone in front of it. So if you think about a laptop with a cell phone right in front of it, it's right up there in between the redo button and the published link right up here. This is what it would look like to other people when they go to my website. They see my resume on there. Now, here's the cool part. Now that I've embedded my resume, if I go back to Canva and edit it, it'll automatically change on my website. So I don't need to download it and upload it every single time. Now the 2 websites talk to each other, so I don't have to go to both places. And this saves you so much time. So if I decide to change my image, and it might take a minute for it to update and make my image this cool kid who's really excited. Maybe he just got access to the internet for the first time.
Maybe he's going to be a YouTuber, like a few of our students are saying they'd love to be.
Yeah. We'll put that on there. Let's see if that updates right away. It's pretty quick when it updates. Let's refresh my website. Look at that. It updated my website because I changed it in Canva. So now it's changed. So now you can continue to update your Canva site, and then it'll update in Google Sites. So now they're communicating with each other. So it's really, really important that you do it that way. Let's go ahead and switch this back to me. Let's take a look, see if there's any questions. Class, thanks. Awesome.
Sam, if you do have a question, just put it right in there. And we'll definitely take a look at it. Alla, I don't know. Is it really your birthday today? If it is, we do wish you a happy birthday. Mike, plumbing, yeah, definitely. Very important. Love it.
Pro YouTube gamer, which is a great career. So if maybe you want to be a Twitch streamer, maybe you want to be a YouTuber. That's
maybe you want to be part of the vendors, those who actually sell the different products and accessories to gamers, because you know what you need.
All right. What I'd like to do, and Ethan let us know in the chat what you're trying to get to work, or what we can go over again. And we're going to let's do about.
We've got about 17 minutes left with everybody. So gauge, Eric, how much time you want to give them.
Let's do about 10 minutes of work time for students to update. And then the most important part is publishing your website. That's where we're going to kind of wrap up, and publishing your website so that you're ready to share the link. And what I want you to do is when you're done, share the link with a teacher or a parent and show them the website you made with your resume on it. That's your deliverable. That's what you want to show to your teacher. You can email it to them and say, can you give me feedback? Or this is my future me. And let them be able to celebrate and see what you've created.
Eric, can you, while everybody's working, show how you got your Canva embedded into your Google site again?
Sure. And let's say somebody says, look like a YouTube streamer. Yeah. So I'm using, those of you who know about stream, I'm using OBS right now to stream on this. And so I'm using software that is Twitch streamers and YouTubers use. So I use this for my teaching when I'm doing this in the classroom.
And of course, we're live streaming off of StreamYard to YouTube. So we're using a number of streaming capabilities that are available to you if you do want to do some streaming yourself.
All right, so let's do embed again, Nicole, the embed.
Yeah, so please, if you could redo just where you finished and you want to move it over to your site.
Okay, and just to emphasize, you don't even have to be finished. Even if you're midway through, I still want you to embed this right now. Don't wait till you're finished with your resume, because you can continue to update it and it'll change in your site. So maybe you're 75% done or 25% finished. Now what you're going to do is go to the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner on Canva, click on that, and then you're going to go down and click the show more button. I've already clicked it, so it doesn't show up here. You're looking for the one that says embed. And so let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. You're looking for this one right here. That's the button that you want. So you might have to click show more so you can see it under where it says share. There's going to be a lot of different options. And so take your time. You're looking for those little alligators, those alligator teeth that have the slash in between. Once you click on that, you're going to click copy HTML embed code. I'm going to click copy right now. So you're going to click on the top one. Then you're going to go back to your website. You're going to click on the insert tab. That's this tab right here. Remember, you have 3 tabs. You have insert, pages, and themes. Insert is what we use to put things on our website. And then I'm going to click embed. That's the yellow alligator teeth that you see. And then the last thing you need to do is change this to embed code. You have 2 different options. You have by URL and embed code. You want to do embed code. And then paste that code that you just copied from Canva. So I'm just going to do Control V because I'm on a PC. And then click next. It's the purple button in the bottom right-hand corner. And then click insert. And now it's on your website. You don't want to leave it like this, though, because it's going to be really small. When someone sees it, it's just going to kind of be in the corner. So you want to stretch it out so it's larger so people can see what's on there. And so to do that, click on it and then use the blue dots to kind of stretch it out so it fills up your page. And then when you want to check it, you can put it in preview mode by clicking this little button right up here on the top. This button right here lets you see what it would look like to people on the outside. So we'll click on that. And now we can see my resume in full screen.
Awesome. Thanks, Ethan, letting us know that you got it now. You're able to embed. And Laura, great question. She said in comment statement that the resume looks great, but it's different from the traditional resume we are all used to. Would you recommend using this kind of resume, which is a little bit more creative for all types of jobs?
It's a great question. And so if I was going to put a resume on my website, depending on what my job was, I would use a visual resume, but I would also have a simple resume, depending on what job you're applying for and what the employers want. And so to make a simple resume, right back on our Future Me site, and we'll put the link again on the bottom, we have the Canva link in step number 1. But if you go to the end of step number 1, there's a Google Doc resume template. This is just like what we did with Canva, except it's just going to be all kind of with words on there. And so you can use this, and this is the traditional basic resume. One of the things when we're doing hiring is when people submit resumes, most of them look like this. And even for teachers, you're going to get Googled. You just are. That's what people do nowadays. I mean, even some of you look up people online, and we want to see, do they have a web presence? Are they there? And since people are going to do it and they're going to Google you, you might as well give them something to look for that's positive. And that's what's going to set you apart. It's very difficult sometimes to be able to set apart a lot of different resumes. But when someone's created something that's visually rich, something that's really appealing to the eye, you're telling your employer a lot of different things. One, I know how to create a website. Two, I know how to present myself in a way that sets me apart from other people. Now, if you click on example on the Future Me website, I actually made one for the first career I wanted after I found out I couldn't be a fire truck. I wanted to be a pilot. So in the example, you can see my pilot one. Now, those phone numbers aren't real. So if you decide to call them, you're going to call the San Diego Zoo. And the address isn't real. So just so you know, you'll get to the zoo. But my first career that I wanted to do was be a pilot. And I actually flew before I learned how to drive. I learned how to fly. So when I was 15, I learned how to fly a plane. Now, when I became an adult, I realized I didn't actually want to be a pilot. It was just something I was really interested in, but I didn't want to do it for a career. And so I ended up shifting careers later. But I made a Future Me for myself on here as if I was in 7th grade or 9th grade or 5th grade. I wrote my own resume, and so I put it on there just so you can see an example of what you can create. I know if Sammy wants to be a fire truck too, that's awesome.
And you know what? Why not? You could create your own opportunities.
I would love now that we're at 7:51.
We are. We've got about 9 minutes left with this this group. So what would you like to do, Eric? What do you want to get into?
What I'd like to do is I would like to show everyone how to publish, because this is the last step. Now, nobody can see what you've made except for you until you do a few different things. So you're not able to share it beyond what you've made kind of for yourself. It's kind of like it's protected. It's like a Google Doc right now. It's restricted. Nobody can see anything unless you change some settings. So what I'd like to do is change some settings and allow students to maybe share what they've created. And I can take a look off screen and give some shout outs to anyone who's been able to embed what they've made at least onto their site. What do you think, Nicole?
Yeah, I think so. If they want to put it in, once they publish, once they follow your instructions, they can certainly share with you within the document.
And so here's going to be one of the challenges. If you follow my steps, you can submit the link into the questions. And then what I'll do on my side screen is take a look and see and give some shout outs to some students who've been able to do this successfully. It doesn't have to be finished. What I'm looking for is, did you create a Google site? Did you make a page? And did you embed the in progress resume that you're working on? So let's go ahead and do the first step. So here's the first step. Purple button, upper right hand corner, it says publish. We're going to click on that. So click publish. All right, my site is all, let's do this one. Now it says I need to name it. So I named my site Eric Cross's Digital Portfolio. You can name it. You can call it your first name, last name. You can use your initials. As long as it's not taken, you can update that on there. And then once you've named your site, and again, remember, you come up with a name, just click publish. And you may want to hit the button, request public search engines do not display my site. So you can make it so that people aren't able necessarily to Google it. They can only see it if you give them the address. So that's personal preference. If you are under 13, I would click this box. Well, if you're under 13, even if you have teacher permission or parent permission, I would still click this box. If you're older and you are actually pursuing now, applying for jobs, you may want to leave that unchecked so that if people are looking you up, they actually find your website, maybe not social media profiles and things like that, but they find this site.
Great to hear this, that the grade 7 virtual class have been using sites as their personal portfolio to share the work that they've been doing this year. Love hearing that, Mrs. Taddeo.
Ms. Taddeo, and that's amazing. And imagine having a history of your work since you were in 7th grade, from 7th grade all the way to 12th grade. You have all of the things you've been most proud of. And then you go to apply for a scholarship or you go to apply for an internship and you put that on your application and you're competing against everybody else who doesn't have that. Who do you think is going to be set apart? You have a history that just tells the story of who you are and what you're about. And you've been doing that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. That is something that is incredibly powerful. It's your highlight film. It's your highlight reel. It's your live story for people to be able to see. And I know for me as a teacher, as somebody who hires people, as someone who's helped run companies, that is something that really sets people apart. So then I'm also going to click manage. And I want to click here where it says change links. And I have my site public. So I'm going to click done, publish. And in order to share the link, you're going to click on this chain link button right here at the top. So you have to publish it first, and then you're going to click on this button. And that is going to be the link that allows you to be able to see the website and share it with me. So that's your challenge right now. Now, we have about 5 minutes. What I want to do is stop sharing my screen here, or maybe we can both go full screen. And I'm going to watch the chat and see who the first person is that's able to share their website, so we can give them a shout out.
Yeah, that'd be great to see somebody's link. Again, it's just the start of it. You saw Eric showing you the steps to get to it, and you might have several different digital portfolios as you get older. You might have one part of it and you might start a brand new one, and that's okay, depending upon what you're working on. Oh,
all right. So we got
something going on.
Someone dropped one in the chat. So the person who dropped one in, if it has a lot of numbers, like if it looks like sites.google.com/ and it's like LJQRS, you want to make sure that you use the published site. That's really important. You can't just copy the URL at the top. So maybe Nicole, if I share my screen again, let me demonstrate that one more time for everyone to see. So here's how you want to capture the site. You don't want to click up here. See where I'm clicking right here? You don't want that. That's not the link that you want because I won't be able to see it. You want to click right here. It looks like a paperclip, but it's really a chain link. That's what you want to copy. And then click copy link. That's the one to put in the chat. Put that one into the chat, and then I'll be able to click on it.
Ethan's got his. Ooh. All right, everyone. So Ethan, you've got going on. We'll get Eric quickly back on. I don't know. That was a little blip there. It was
I got too excited.
So check right. Ethan's out. Yeah, I think he's ready.
All right, let's see.
And that looks like a Toronto school division. So that's kind of neat.
I wasn't able to open Ethan's. Nicole, are you able to open Ethan's?
Oh, let me check here if I can open it. Maybe Ethan doesn't have it public yet, but I'll put it up here and see if I can open it. Nope. Cannot open it yet, Ethan. So you got to make sure it's public. You're almost there. You're almost there, buddy.
Ethan found the right way to include the link. So shout out for that, Ethan. You copy the published link, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. For one reason or another, I may not be able to access it, but that could also be because of
and it could be the school division not allowing, so it might be out of Ethan's hands, but you did it right. Looks right.
And also share it with your teacher. So teachers, family members, let them see what you've created to celebrate that. Because I can guarantee you most people haven't done this. Many adults haven't done this before. Not only did you just make a website today, but you've also just created your resume or started on it. And now you're dreaming about your future self. And maybe you need to look up some colleges, or maybe you need to talk to some people about what does it take to have that career. If you want to be an orthopedic surgeon or a photographer, or even you want to be a YouTuber, now is a great time to start learning that. Maybe it's a great time, especially when we're home, to start learning about some of the software that they use to create, to start learning about video editing. Maybe you want to save up to find an external microphone, or maybe you want to figure out the best ways to take photos with your camera. Or if you want to be a surgeon, what are some skills that you can practice to become a good surgeon now? Do you know a lot of surgeons, one thing that they learn how to do is they learn how to sew. A lot of really good surgeons, they learn how to sew at a young age. It's something you can practice. And so start talking to people now who do things and ask if they can kind of mentor you or train you. What schools should I go to? These are great things to put onto your resume. And it also starts turning your dream into a plan. And so I really look forward to what everyone's able to create. And let's see if we have anything else in the chat.
We've got a whole bunch of discussions going on, which is great, and people sharing what they would like to be. We don't have another one sharing what they've potentially created, but some great comments. We love that you are all participating. You're learning a lot. And in a minute or two, we're going to stop the broadcast, but we appreciate, Eric and I really appreciate that you are all taking this step by step on learning how to expand your horizons as to what would you like to do in the future, and showcase some of the learning along the way. I think that's it, Eric.
I love I was looking through the chat. I was reading some of the responses in this. Nicholas asked, do I like doing this? Nicholas, I do. I got into teaching, and I love doing this because I became a teacher because I was cared about teachers when they didn't have to care about me. They came into my life and they were mentors and they inspired me. I was the first person in my family to graduate from high school. I was the first person in my family to graduate from college. I was the first person in my family to own a house. And one of the reasons why is because I had role models to look up to who taught me some of these things, because there wasn't a lot of people in my family that could teach me these things. And so I love being able to share this. I love being able to read the comments. And you all are making me miss my own students in the classroom because I haven't seen them for a year. And I see the comments that I'm not saying. Don't think we don't see you. I see you. And we love y'all too.
We do love you, and Olivia also put hers in. Olivia, we can't see it, so it could be your school division not allowing you to publish outside of your school division. But we appreciate you sharing the link, and hopefully we'll get to look at it. We appreciate you, the teachers, anyone else who joined us today. We're going to stop this broadcast. Thank you for joining us. We've got a lot more learning. So if you ever want to join Eric, myself, as well as some of the other Cobblestone Collective personnel and instructors, we come live at you throughout the day. Thanks so much, you guys. Take care.
Thanks, students. Have a great rest of your day and a great weekend.